Hi there, my name is Rob Losey, and this is my first YouTube production. And welcome to Bionic Water-colourist. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this title all about? And I just wanted to briefly explain my story so that you guys will understand where I'm coming from. And basically, I had some very significant heart problems when I was, basically in my mid-ages. And at the age of 57, I got an artificial heart. So, for those familiar with what's an LVAD or a VAD, which is called the ventricular assist device, you'll be familiar with basically how the thing works and all that kind of stuff. But as a part of my recovery, which took about 4.5 months in the hospital room, I thought about doing a watercolor painting video or series so that, I guess, as a legacy or whatever, I would be able to, leave something. And this would be great. So what I wanted to do was start this series, and I've been working on it for a long, long time. But what is evident through YouTube is that you have to have these really sophisticated production values. And I can guarantee you that that is not going to happen here. I'm doing my best, but what I find, my motivation on this is that I would really, we're in a pandemic right now. Everybody's stuck at home with varying degrees of access to different materials. Art, we're going to learn in this series to start with, either a pencil or a pen or watercolor paints or whatever, because if you're doing watercolor paints, you have to use a pencil. You can't, Bob Ross and William Alexander were two absolutely excellent painters, but they're using a completely different medium. And so what I'm talking about are watercolors. We're not talking about wet and wet oils or acrylics. So if that's what you got, this may be useful to you. It may not. And the second thing to remember is I absolutely have no, formal art training whatsoever. I started when I was 4 years old. I was such a hellion that my mother put me into the Edmonton Art Gallery's kids program back in probably 68, so that's how far back I go. And then what happened is that I became really ill. I had to quit. I was a sales guy. And so what happened is I got really sick. My heart thing got to the point where I had congestive heart failure. That just kept going and going and going until I died. Then they put this machine in me. Then I'm back. And that's why I call this the Bionic Water-colorist, is because I'm bionic. And so this is what I have to wear. Just to let's give you a easier look. This is the computer that runs my heart. This wire here goes up into me and then through underneath to the heart where the pump sits right here. And then it pumps from the left ventricle into the right atrial, which is up here, and then it's circulated around the body. What keeps the pump going are batteries. So if you take the batteries out, so if you ever hear somebody beeping like that, or if you're an EMT kind of guy or EMS person, then you should figure that out. There's not too many people in the world that have these things. Now, where I came from, we have the University of Alberta, and there are about 50 people that are going through the program at any time. Some pass away, which is unfortunate, and others get transplants and move on to a different type of recovery and a different type of life. So that's my sad story. So when I was in the hospital, I was thinking of ways that I could do this. But then I discovered that I thought, by the time I have a captive audience right now because of the situation that's going on in the world. So I thought, let's take advantage of this. And let's get to be able to learn how to paint just to kill some time. I mean, my God, what are you going to do? So anyway, I appreciate it very much. We're going to move on. Episodes to come. We're going to have the next episode is going to be on basically a survival kit, the quarantine survival kit. And we'll look at different mediums that you probably have in your house and how you can use them to basically color what we're going to learn about how to draw. I've done pencil, I've done all this kind of stuff. So, but the key is that the basic principles of whatever you're doing, whether it's oils, acrylics, or watercolors, or pencil sketching, or whatever, you got to learn the fundamentals of, perspective and all that other kind of stuff. So we're going to be covering that. I thank you very much for the time, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Bionic Water-colourist.